Hello, my name is Dory from RB Tech, and I'm here today to demonstrate the Ironclad, a fence alarm system that is designed to detect cutting, climbing and jumping on fences. Now, we call the Ironclad easy, reliable and affordable for a reason. The reason for the easy is that the Ironclad does not need any training, certification, prior knowledge or special tools. The system is completely standalone, so you do not need any computer or software to operate it. All connections and adjustments are done straight on board of the system itself. The reason we call it reliable is because the system itself has 3 layers of false alarm filtration. The 3 layers of false alarm filtration are algorithm of detection, 22 levels of sensitivity, and an independent standalone weather compensation unit. The algorithm of detection is designed to detect only sharp frequencies on the fence line that are associated with an intrusion, someone that is trying to cross the fence line, like cutting, jumping, or lifting of the fence. Once alarm occurs, based on the algorithm of detection and the sensitivity level, the system will trigger an alarm. That alarm means the board latches a relay per zone, because the board can monitor 2 zones, so there'll be an associated relay per zone that can be wired to any alarm system, camera system or access control system to trigger an alarm. The wiring is simple contact closure relay, normally open or normally closed. The system here is coming in pre-cut sizes of 250, which is 75 meters, 500 foot, which is 150 meters, or 1000 feet, which is 300 meters lengths. So from the factory we sell spools of pre-cut sizes that come from the factory with an end-of-line unit pre-installed, which means there's no field installation for the end-of-line, and the board that is in a weatherproof enclosure. Each board can monitor up to 2 zones, which means that it can do left and right for up to 2 zones, that each of them can be up to 1000 feet. So that means that the maximum length per processor is 2000 feet or 600 meters of protection from one box. Now if you want more zones, or you have a larger site, you just multiply the boxes of the processor. So along the perimeter you'll install as many boxes as needed to connect back to your alarm system to cover any lengths or size of fence line. The Ironclad is installed in the middle of the fence, about 4 feet high for an 8-foot fence, but it's important to remember that no matter where they cut the fence or climb the fence will get a detection. There's no need to cut the cable, and there's no need to tamper with the sensor cable in order to get a detection. I can hit the fence low and I'll still get a detection, and it's the same in full installations. The cable is designed to pick up any vibration from the full height of the fence up to 10 feet of fences. Now, I showed you how the system detects the intrusions, but I'll show you now how it does not detect the long wave vibration, which is the pulling and pushing of the fence that usually caused by wind. So I can push the fence, and I can pull the fence, I can push the fence, I can pull the fence. The fence can move and we don't get an alarm, but if I hit the fence, it still does. So that shows to some of the concerns that people have, that any vibration will trigger an alarm, any touch will trigger an alarm. This is the basic algorithm of detection. On top of that, we have 22 levels of sensitivities, easily adjusted with dip switches directly on board. So now I'll move the sensitivity to an extremely high sensitivity. Just like that, with a flick of a switch. And now I can barely touch the fence and it will trigger an alarm. Now the reason that we have a wide range of sensitivities is because the sensor itself is designed to be mounted on your infrastructure, and every fence is a little bit different, and any site is a little bit different, and the weather in different parts of the country is a little bit different. So that's why we have a wide range of flexibility with sensitivities for stiffer fans or for more flexible fans, for new fans or for an older, even rusty fences. I changed the sensitivity again to a very low sensitivity, okay? But if I smack it, it does trigger an alarm. Now what I'm going to demonstrate is how the system, even while in windy conditions, triggers an alarm. So I'll shake the fence and tap on it at the same time, and you'll see that while I'm shaking it, it does not trigger an alarm, but once I tap it, it does. So, okay, so that means that weather conditions and that kind of movement and the shaking and the pulling and the pushing of the fence and all that kind of movement of the fence line does not kill the system. It doesn't mean that it's not working. It's still working the whole time. As I said earlier, this system does not need calibration because it's self-calibrated. What it does is that once we'll power up the system goes into 30-second self-calibration process, and from there on you just calibrate it with the dip switches to your fence line, because again we rely on your infrastructure. The ironclad sensor cable is a copper wire with two conductors in a construction of coax-like cable, the center conductor and the shield. The outer layer, which is the braid that you can see on the outside of the wire, is just for physical protection for grounding the wire to the fence against surges and against weather and animals. The outer braid is not connected to the electronics, and the connection to the board is done by screw terminals that you can pull out for easy connection and then push back on the board itself. The system is powered by 12 to 24 volt DC, 500 milliamps per processor, which means that even if we have multiple processors down the fence line, the system can work on 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 20 volt as well. So we allow the droppage of the voltage along the line if we need to power it from a central location in the field. So in this case you'll power it as 24 volt in the control or in the building or in the shed, and run that voltage out, and even if it drops from 24 to 20, we're still okay and there's no problem whatsoever.
So go now to www.rbtech.com and upgrade to a smart fence.